The Dell XPS 13 is a gorgeous little compact laptop, packing premium performance for any more demanding users who are constantly on the move. Of course, you're going to have to be a bit flush if you actually want to buy one, because even the cheapest SKU of this costs over £1,000. Ouch. I've already done a full unboxing, so go check that out if you want to see me pull the XPS 13 out of a box. But I've also been using it as my full-time laptop for a month now, and here's what I think. The XPS 13 is constructed from a single block of aluminium, and it certainly feels premium. Those finer detailings around the corners and the edges really help it to stand out, and this rose gold finish for the metal lid is very attractive indeed. Dell reckons that the materials are both stain and UV resistant, and we certainly didn't notice anywhere over that first month. Even slopping rather aggressive foreign foodstuffs over the surfacing didn't ruin that lovely fresh finish. So far it's proven pretty rugged too. I've been slapping it in my backpack and carrying it around all day, just completely loose with a bunch of other items in there, and there's no scratches, scuffs or anything else to speak of. You also get some reasonably impressive connectivity given the size of this thing. Lining the sides you'll find dual Thunderbolt ports and a Type-C 3.1 USB port as well, giving you plenty of room to connect all your peripherals. There's also support for micro SD memory cards to expand the storage. And I also love the little battery gauge indicator, which is great if you're running around like a mentalist in the morning and you just need to quickly check how much power you have left in the laptop before chucking the thing in the backpack. Dell also knows how to cobble together a really good keyboard, and the XPS 13 is an absolute joy whether you're smashing out endless essays or, in my case, scripts and reviews. The chiclet style board is well sized, stretching almost to the very edges of the laptop. Of course, those cursor keys are kind of cramped down in the corner, a common pest in these compact laptops. So of course I found myself mashing those page down and up keys by accident all the time. Still, everything else worked just fine. The shell of travel still makes for a comfortable typing experience, while those keys spring back into place instantly. And it's not a loud board either, so you can happily smash out those witty YouTube comments until the wee hours of the morning without disturbing anyone else in the room. Even the touchpad isn't really that bad. It's pretty responsive, even to subtle and multi-touch gestures, and using those built-in mouse buttons thankfully doesn't send the cursor staggering off across the screen like a drunken student. However, the real star of the show here is definitely that 13.3-inch display. This thing stretches to the far reaches of the laptop, really filling that space. The squat aspect ratio means it's really well suited to movies on the go, and my review model offered a full HD resolution, which is perfectly crisp and detailed no matter what I was up to. You can also pick up the XPS 13 in a 4K flavouring, but I'm not really sure that's entirely necessary on a 13.3-inch laptop. The screen size is rather compact, there's not even any dedicated graphics in there to really make use of those Ultra HD visuals. Colour accuracy is impressively accurate as you might expect, covering 99% of the sRGB gamut that many professional photographers use. Vivid pictures really pop without looking unnatural. And while the panel isn't so powerful that it'll just melt your retinas, it is bright enough to use with relative comfort on a sunshiny kind of day. Viewing angles and all the rest are great too, so you get strong clarity. The only thing I'd personally change is a bit of touch support, which is really helpful when editing, but apart from that, it is top notch. The audio is also surprisingly powerful from those dinky little side speakers. I had absolutely no problem watching videos or listening to podcasts, even with the sound of multiple chainsaws ripping through trees just a few meters away. Yep, that was an actual test. Music sounds rather tinny when you boost the volume up of course, but you can always stick in some phones for enjoying your tunes as you beaver away. And facial recognition is also supported, although it is a bit hit and miss thanks to the weird positioning of that webcam, a necessary evil thanks to the ridiculously narrow bezels. You have to kind of lean back a bit for it to work usually, but thankfully there is a fingerprint sensor built into that power button and it's a great alternative. Performance on the whole is absolutely fine too. I have a Core i7-8550U model with 16 gigs of RAM, which handles all kinds of apps without any kind of issue. There aren't any dedicated graphics however, so you will struggle to do any proper gaming. If you're expecting the likes of Rise of the Tomb Raider to run with a decent frame rate, then you're not only barking up the wrong tree, you haven't even actually found a tree to bark up. That said, titles that aren't too taxing or are a bit older seem to run just fine. And if you're a benchmarking enthusiast, these are the kind of scores you can expect from Geekbench 4. Not quite as strong as the likes of Huawei's MateBook X Pro, but still pretty good for a compact laptop. However, the all-round performance wasn't quite perfect. For one, I did have some Wi-Fi problems with the XPS 13. Most laptops I test can happily still connect to my home Wi-Fi when I'm sat out in the garden, for example, but the XPS kept losing signal when I strayed more than a few meters from the hub. Thankfully, this was usually fixed with a quick reboot of the modem, but it was still a bit of a pain. The XPS also warms up quite easily, as you might expect, especially when it's plugged in. And when it does get a bit toasty, those mini fans whirring around inside really make it sound like a toy plane that's not particularly enjoying life. It's not offensively loud or anything, it's just kind of distracting. As for battery life, it's pretty standard for a compact laptop with these kinds of specs. Like the MacBook X Pro before it, the XPS delivers around 5 to 6 hours of mixed use before it finally runs dry. You can stream video for roughly 6 hours on a full charge, while lighter use with the screen brightness turned right down will give you a full working day of light just about. So in summary, if your priorities are basically compact size, a gorgeous display and strong usability, we can heartily recommend the Dell XPS 13. However, shop around and you will find more affordable laptops from the likes of Acer and Lenovo, which offer much of the same benefits for less expense. And that right there is what I think of Dell's XPS 13 2018 edition after a full month of use. It is a great little laptop, but of course a bit pricey. For more reviews and features on the latest and greatest tech, including smartphones, laptops and everything else, don't forget to give us a subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Thanks for watching everyone, love you, bye!